How are you ever going to change? How are you ever going to show your betrayed spouse you are changing after they caught you cheating on them? Because I'm sure you realize that change is absolutely necessary, or at least that's the impression that your betrayed spouse is giving you, is that you need to change, right? But the only problem is, how do I change? Okay, and it's not just in changing in the ways that you think they need you to change. It is investigating how you specifically need to change for you, for them, okay? And so what a lot of unfaithful spouses do is they change the way they treat their partner by showing them more attention, then checking in with them more, and all of these other things that do demonstrate some change, but not enough change as to where your partner begins believing you, okay? Because a big challenge right now is that your partner, your betrayed spouse, they believe absolutely nothing you have to say. Maybe they take a few things here and there for not lies, but for the majority of what you tell them, it's guilty until proven innocent, okay? And so two things is, how do you change and get to a point where they can at least begin believing you? They can at least begin giving you some chance, okay? And so first thing is, in the way that you change, find out specifically how you need to change. And one way may be finding out that you must no longer beat yourself up. What does that have to do with no longer cheating and changing, okay? That may be what got you there in the first place, is that you beat yourself up because you have this identity that I can never do anything right, or that I'm a failure, or no matter what I do, I'm never good enough. I can never be that person, right? And maybe you don't do that all of the time. Maybe some days you have that level of confidence where you're like, yeah, I'm it. I can do it. Everything's all good. But then you have those days where you really put yourself down on those days. But then what happens? You put yourself down. You're alone, putting yourself down with your own thoughts there with yourself, hating yourself. And then what? You find someone along to come along and love you and not feel so much hatred towards yourself, convince you that you're not this failure or whatever choice put down there is. And then suddenly you're vulnerable to that validation and feeling better. Again, staying stuck in that cycle, that loop of searching for someone else to make me feel better about me because I'm so occupied by putting myself down. No longer are you to beat yourself up. And that's something that you do with you, okay? The moment you start beating yourself up, you say, man, yeah, I can't believe I did this. I'm a horrible person, that, and well, I deserve all this. No, you stop yourself and whatever your name is, you say, Michael, whatever it is, you stop yourself. You're no longer going to do that. I'm sorry I was beating you up right now. I'm sorry I was calling you this, and I'm sorry I was telling you that. Yes, talk to yourself like this. And I just want to apologize for talking to you like that right now. And I want to let you know that I love you and I support you and I'm here for you. And I encourage you in what you're doing and who you're becoming. Okay, so that's how you stop beating yourself up and encouraging yourself. And I get that right now in your life, you may not be wanting to encourage yourself and lift yourself up and forgive yourself and encourage yourself because you're like, no, I don't deserve any of that. No, that is what is going to keep you stuck. That is what's going to keep you stuck in your old patterns. And your partner's going to see that. Yeah, you may be thinking, well, it's good for my partner to see that I'm very mad and angry at myself and I'm beating myself up. No, okay? They may recognize that as a sign of true remorse, which it is. Yes, you should feel not good about what you've done and about yourself for your actions, but you do not have to keep on putting yourself down because that is how you're going to stay there. That is how you got there, and this is how you're going to stay there. But what is going to get you out is you redirecting each and every time you find yourself in that pattern of beating yourself up. And this is just an example, but if this is you, then this is you, and this is what you are to do, okay? Now, the second part of it is, but we are here to speak our truths and eventually over time rebuild the trust based on our track record of being honest. You cannot get caught in a lie you do not tell, right? And so a part of it, yes, is being honest, but in communicating with them to to not just sound like you're being honest or anything like that, but in the things they don't believe when you tell them. That a lot of what you tell them they don't believe. So what do you do with that? Well, ask yourself, getting your foot in the door with them, right? At least getting them to believe you, not to trick them, right, into believing a lie, right? That's what we're not here to do. We're not here to do that. What do they believe right now? They believe what? Maybe that I'm a liar, that I'm a cheater, that I'm not honest, I'm not capable of this, or whatever it is, right? They believe those things. Okay? And so whatever they believe, what mistake you may be making is that you're disagreeing with what they believe and you're trying to convince them otherwise. You're trying to get their belief and convince them of your belief right now. And so you don't have to agree with what you don't agree with. If they're saying, you're still cheating now, you don't have to go, yes, I agree with you, I'm cheating now. I'm not saying that. I'm saying this. When they say that, you cheated on me and I can't trust you. You say, you know what, you're absolutely right. I did cheat on you and you feel you can't trust me right now? I get that. Look what I did. You see, they believe that. They believe that when they say, you know what? You just were acting selfish and you only thought of yourself and you didn't think about anyone else but yourself. When you say, you know what? You're absolutely right. And you come up to them and you say, I was being selfish. I didn't think about anyone else. I didn't think about you. I didn't think about the kids. I didn't think about the consequences. I did not think about anything except me because all I cared about was me and I didn't care about how you felt or what would happen with you in that moment. I didn't care about any of it. That sounds a lot, right? That sounds like, wow, that really, but guess what? They believe that. Now you're talking their language because you're not trying to protect yourself. You're not trying to defend yourself. You see? You're taking accountability. You get that, but you're not getting that to beat yourself up with it, to shame yourself. No, you're there to take ownership of it, to move you, okay? And so what they are telling you, you accept that as their truth and their experience, and being so cautious not to invalidate their experience and disagree with them. You wonder why you get into arguments with your betrayed spouse is because you disagree with what they tell you. You don't have to agree with it, but you don't have to disagree with it either. So the more you can have conversations with your betrayed spouse where you are agreeing instead of disagreeing, then they will go, okay, well, at least you understand that. At least you've gotten to this point. Now I can allow you to get further beyond that. But I'm not going to allow you to even get close to that if you can't even get to that. Does that make sense? And if it does, apply it. Don't deny it. Try it or use it consistently. You know, you try the soup of the day once, maybe twice, I don't know. You implement a new behavior purposefully, intentionally to become, to create, to change who you are, to change what's happening in your life. But the change starts with you. The change starts now. The change starts today. And so make that switch. Review this video, watch it twice. If you have a question, drop it below. I hope this helps. Much love to you. Happy healing, happy recovery. I will see you very soon.